action is a button, which is a little bit like function on a normal modern machine. So I'm going to hold action and then hit A. I heard a beep. So I'm not going to do any more. I'm just going to hit go to continue. Ah, and it says, hey, choose. Well, I better choose the same thing, that's for sure. AWS standalone. I'm not going to experiment with anything radically different just yet. But we'll get there. We will get there. Especially now that we know that this is possible and at least some of our resources are valid. So here we go, loading from the development disk 1. How's our time? We are at 32 minutes and a half. Assembler. Ooh. We could have all kinds of fun with that. Creating command assemble. Done. Oh, look at all this fun. It's fascinating to see this thing work the way it's really supposed to. Finally, we have a baseline to know how it's supposed to behave. Now debugging the rest of these things are going to be a little bit easier because we have some idea what to expect. Librarian! That should be a fun one. At some point I'm going to want to learn what this case means. Case. The command case. I'm sure that's a CTOS specific thing. I looked through the manuals, couldn't find a thing on command case at all. Assembler.run. How is that different than the previous one? Good question. Check back on the video and look. We're at 30, almost 35 minutes now. Doing pretty good for getting all this done. CTOS.lib, that seems important. Just when I was on the brink of giving up, too. Now there's clearly no turning back. We have to finish. I wonder if these are batch files. Assembler.run. I wonder if they set an environment variable or something and make it work. Linker. Be an interesting one. The linker. samginall.asm. No idea what that is. Insert disk 2. Press go when ready. Swapping files to disk 2. Dev disk 2. Go. Loaded. Go. AWS editor and a debug file. These all seem like very important things to have. Very important things to have. I wonder if we could create some advanced diagnostics floppy with this. Who knows? Wouldn't that be interesting? Dump.run. I wonder if we could figure out more about error 301, what it really means. Samgin.mdf. MDF. That's an interesting file extension. We've got obj, which is usually object. Samgin. We'll have to figure out what that means. The debugger AWS seems important. Especially since this is an AWS after all. Oh, look at this. Installation of development utilities complete. Remove the disk. Alright, I'm actually going to take the SD card out. All of this was on the SD card. Right here. Whopping 16 gigs on this thing. Way more than needed. Alright, if you've just completed a remote installation, I haven't. Press the master's hardware reset button. Okay. To bootstrap the master. Well, this is the standalone or the master. Press the hardware reset button to bootstrap your workstation. No, if you've just completed init or update installation, bootstrap your workstation from the local system volume and activate the debugger. Press go. Activate the debugger. How do I activate the debugger? To return to the executive, press Action Finish. Now, I'm not going to press Action Finish because I did that the last time, and it gave me, well, it dropped me to a command, but then it gave me an error 201 or something. My personal goal is to get all of this done without any errors. So I'm going to do it without any errors. So, I'm going to press go to activate the debugger, right? Because that's what it tells me to do. If you've just completed an init or update installation, which I have, to bootstrap your workstation from the local system volume, which I want to do, and activate the debugger, press go. Here we go. Bootstrap 10.2. I actually didn't do this before. Come on, come on. Look at this. It's booting. Yes, it is booting from the hard drive because the floppy is not even there. All floppy disk files are out of the emulator. No disk on the floppy. Look at this. Isn't this cute? This file is syssysignon.txt. It may be edited to contain any text because we're going to see it every time you log on, basically. Press go to get into the executive, which I'm going to do. Refer to the executive manual for information on usernames and configuration files. Copyright 1980, 1985 by Convergent Technologies, and we know that this all happened in 85. So, let's press go. Play around for a minute. before we wrap this up and I take a shower and get some sleep. Crash myself. Go! Command! Now I'm going to do something that I tried to do before and it just didn't work. I'm going to do basically a file directory by entering the command files. F-I-L-E-S. Files. And yes, I entered it lowercase. You can see it there. It doesn't mind. So here's all the files evidently on the disk. Path D0 sys. Okay, great. Well, there's no floppy installed, so that's the only option, right? So here's our list of files. Next page, well, that's in the upper left-hand corner of the keyboard. By the way, you got to see this keyboard. This is all the magic buttons over here. So these green ones here, page next, scroll up, all of that fun stuff. Oh, yes. We go over here. We see other magic buttons, especially the magic go button, which is right here. There's our scroll buttons, nice and green. I know the keyboard guys love these things, at least a few of them do. But this is how they operate with their native hardware, with their native machine, like this. All right, so next page or scroll up. I was showing you that because that's right here. Next page or scroll up, right there, upper left-hand corner. Kind of a awkward if you're not used to it, but I can see it being very natural if you're really getting used to it. And there were no standards back then, so why not? Next page. Okay. Interesting files. Files.run, which is what we're running right now, I guess. And next page. Give it a moment to look at those. All kinds of fun things there I'm not going to comment on. Ooh, AWS editor. I got to run that someday soon. Samgin.mdf. You know what? I think I am going to run AWS editor. I just want to see what happens. Go. No such command. Well. Alright, well, I probably just don't know how to use it. I mean, at this point, I think we're running full CTOS, right? I mean, we see Executive 10.2. OS is basically the same thing we saw on the utility disks. Oh, well, here's one. Here's one. I'm going to reboot this thing because I found out something the last time. I'm going to redo here. And we're just going to go with it. All right, I'm going to log out. L-O-G-O-U-T. Now, here's a good one. Date and time. I'm going to hit help. Look at this. Read that. This is fascinating. Enter the date and time if the system date and time has not been set. No, it hasn't. It thinks it's September 18th, 1985, which is probably when this entire install was released. It's pretty close, based on other dates I see in the binaries of these disks I've looked at. If the current date time is valid, you may change parts of it, such as Friday, September 9th or 12:32 a.m. This is great. This is my favorite part. The entries are in any order. Year, month, day of month, year, month, day of month, day of week, and time. You only need to enter enough of the name, not the number, of a month or day of the week to make it unique. Talk about an intuitive operating system for its day. I mean, was this that functional back in 1980, 81 when you guys first developed this? Oh, Convergent engineers, you guys are really quite amazing, and I can see this. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. And yes, it's been a long day. What's the day and the time? Well, I'm going to skip the date. I'm going to skip the day of the week, and I'm going to see if it figures it out. But it's January, so I'm going to use the same exact format that we have here, and I'm going to lower the... Can you see it? Yeah. If I lower the contrast, you can see it there. See that? Friday, Sep 9, 1983, 8 a.m. That's the example. So I'm going to skip Friday. I'm just going to say January. Jan. It's the 8th. Jan 8, comma, 2021. Oh yes. We're going to go all the way there. I'm going to see just how Y2K compliant this thing really is. And we're going to put a time in. Oh yeah. It is 6:48 a.m. Or at least it will be in less than a minute. So there we go. I'm going to hit go. Ready? See if it objects to the real date and time. No. Not only does it not object, it is correct. It is Friday. I didn't tell it it was Friday, but it is absolutely Friday. So, holy shiitake mushrooms, Convergent Technologies. You guys made this thing Y2K compliant way back then. At least so it seems when it comes to the setting of the date. I don't know about this other stuff. Maybe we'll find out if we use it. But hey, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I don't know how to deal with the glitchiness of the hardware. We'll address the rest of that and find out why nothing else works but this. But there you go. There you go. So at this point we can hit help. And we have so many more commands than we had on the disk. And even more because I get to hit next page to see more. Next page. There we go. All kinds of fun things. You know that AWS editor, that just intrigued me. Let me do that again. Oh boy. See, here's where it gives you the command case of every single one of them. So now I'm going to hit next page through a lot of these. And I will do it quickly because I think it's good. I mean, we are doing this video for a reason. So this could be helpful just to get it documented. Volume status. Alright. So let me just hit go. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to hit help again, which is going to be my summary. If I would have hit help again, it would have gone through all that again, I think. So, assemble asynchronous terminal emulator. Another day, perhaps. I wanted to find that AWS editor, but who knows. Wow. Record. Well, there's no audio input, so I don't know what record means, but... Wow. Next page. Yeah. We have a fully operating standalone AWS right now. We don't know how to get into the other ones to work, and we don't know how to get this to run on an emulated hard drive yet, or any other hard drive but this Seagate ST-251, the physical one. But we have a fully functioning AWS workstation. And the only one that we can get to work is this one, which is serial number, what is it again? It's serial number A27077, product number 99016 something something. Yeah, I had it in here. It's that first one that the product number does not start with the letters AWS. Can't figure that one out. All the other, we have 6 of these. The other 5 all start with AWS and a number. Matter of fact, if you want to see them, there they are. See? There they are. I took pictures of them, I printed them out so that I could stick these labels on the pieces so I didn't get them mixed up from which machine that they came out of. I thought that was the best way to do it. It works pretty well. Alright, so there you have it. At this point I'm going to do log off. Logu. How about if I log out or log off? Log out. Log out works. What if I do log off? So I'm going to hit go again. LOGOFF. See if that works. No such command, so it's log out. Now, there's no shutdown procedure, really. It doesn't say do something to turn the power off, but at this point I'm quite confident that I can turn the power off. And that is exactly what I'm going to do, because I'm tired. So, night-night.